What is up, YouTube? My Cowboys family here, bringing you guys the latest update, of course, on our very own Dallas Cowboys, the familiest of Fridays, coming at you. Thank you so much for hanging with us, and take a second to hit like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. You can follow us on all social media at MyCowboysFamily, and of course, make sure to hop in the Discord. The link for that is in the description box down below. And baby, as we get rolling here tonight, guys, again, we're trying a few new different things here at MCF. So, you might be seeing a few different things here as we get rolling here tonight. But
that's right.
Some things will never change. Some things will always stay the same, like some familiar faces representing here on the MCF side of things. So, baby, I'm going to shout out the people who help make MCF happen here on the daily and the nightly. Thank you so much to the current sponsor of the week and the Cash App King, Jason Renfro.
Much love to Jason Renfro. Not only is he those things dominating last week and now representing it this week, he's also dropped a $2.30 holler in the Cash App and a Go Cowboys, literally pre-streaming it here on my Cowboy. He's still in the lead on this week's Cash App, trying to go back-to-back like our 90s Cowboys. Much love to Jason Renfro. And if you look right above that, you see the current leader this week, the man staying skeptical fan who's once again helping out the channel even more, being a part of the membership. He's a star level member. We're going to shout out to silver and star level memberships tonight for the first time in over 3 months. But skeptical fan in first place, and he dropped a $5 gift when it comes to the membership. And yes, he gifted a membership to Scorpio. So welcome to the family on that side. Appreciate all you guys in this thing and all the love drop. But yes, skeptical fan in first place. Skeptical fan just passing out some memberships right now for some lucky people in the chat. So make sure you are get gifts, and you will be able to maybe get lucky and get yourself a membership rewarded or gift to you by one of our members. It's growing. We've got like 12, 13 people in there right now. So appreciate you. Also, Scorpio, welcome in here. Also welcome Brandon James Shea, who also is in that navy blue crew. Appreciate you. And he also dropped the pre-stream dollar holler. Go Cowboys. Much love to Brandon James Shea in the house, in the membership. Keeps it growing. And Stephen White, officially now a member here. Let me see how he did this here. Yeah, he gifted.
Thanks to the very generous love there by Scorpio, who said he had to pay it forward.
There it is. Okay, my fault.
Style. Thank you so much, Scorpio.
Oh, okay. Thank you, baby. Thank you for fixing that.
Fan.
Thank you for fixing that for me, because I was a little off there. But Scorpio gifted the membership, and Stephen White gets that membership. So, man, baby, I mean, that's fantastic.
This is what it's about like here. You said, it's been a while, but I can officially say this again, guys. Drop them if you got them. Show off those emojis in the chat.
Oh, yeah. Hell
again, thank you to everybody here hanging. And yes, as you can see, now that we're kind of officially back up and running in our more traditional MCF style, the way most of us are used to things here. And again, we mentioned it before, but all the other previous ways to show the love or drop the love, Cash App, the Venmo, the PayPal, Streamlabs,
let me get it up.
Still valid, but now we do have, the super chat option is available again, and membership, all that good stuff. So can't wait to continue to roll out all our membership perks.
Yeah, and again, I did want to say one last shout out here. The guy who's really the all-time dominator as our sponsor of the week, but he's not a sponsor of the week. He's not a Cash App King right now. He's just the stream boss, and he's been doing that for almost 10 weeks. Mark Hovsepian, or Mark96701. Much love to and aloha to Hawaii Mark. Appreciate you. He's got 43 points on that stream boss. So just wanted to make that clear, baby. That's all. Now, we also, outside of the different ways of helping out, again, Super Chat memberships all back, and you also got Cash App, Venmo, PayPal. All three of those count as the Cash App King. And the message on the screen, if you want to do a Super Chat, but through the OBS Streamlabs way, that's also available as well, guys. So thank you for your love and support. Now, baby, we do have a new feature. We tried something the other day. We're trying something a little different. We might give you a different flavor every day. Baby, I'm going to unveil this, but you tell the family what this is about right here with us, myself, you. Again, the leader here is Skeptical Fan, and if you recognize, this is from Skeptical Fan, what you're seeing on your screen, myself, my mouth opening and closing. You see the wife also over there smiling, but also when she speaks.
Yeah, guys, and if you have the emojis, make sure to drop them in the chat.
Yeah, so That's right. The emojis are in the membership right now. If you're navy blue, silver, star, whichever.
My audio, I was gonna say, I was just about to say my love.
Yes. What's up?
Yeah, the audio is coming in double for me for some reason.
Oh, okay. It might be you. Yeah, it might be your side. Hold on. I know what it is. Probably. Yeah,
there it is. Bama Fan. Much love. He's also now a member.
Are we getting double audio there?
It fixed itself.
Okay. I don't know if it did or not, but it might be the microphone. Either way, we're trying this for our first time. And we're doing different things here at MC. We're trying new things as we're getting ready, ramped up for the season, in this off-season, baby. What was that I just missed here? Skeptical Fan, another gifted membership. Once again, much love to the man staying skeptical. Who got that one, baby?
Bama Fan.
Ooh, Bama Fan in the house, now part of the membership. Appreciate Skeptical Fan's drop there. And now Bama Fan in that navy blue with the emojis, too. You know how that goes. Thank you once again, man. Sharing the love here. Skeptical Fan doing his thing. And hey, we'll see who else gets some of these memberships as the weeks and months keep going and the memberships keeps growing. So as you can see, guys, how you can tell, we're in the MCF bar right now for a Cowboys chat. As you can see, this is our little background, moving background. The wife here next to me. We got our little, I don't know, what'd you call this, baby? What'd you call this, I don't know, what is that, MPG?
What do you say?
What would you call this?
This is a what?
What would you call this? Like, what are these things on our screen? I mean, you know more about this than I do.
Oh, PNG.
PNGs.
PNG.
Yeah. Okay.
Sorry, I didn't realize that's what you were trying to say.
Yeah, that's all I was trying to say. So
yeah, I don't know why. It did fix itself.
All right, so is the audio sound all right?
Just double checking to make sure my audio. Okay, yeah. So my audio is still good. It's fixed. It's working. But good. Yes, guys. So again, we're just trying to do a few different new things here on the MCF side of things. And yes, shout out to Skeptical Fan, who's actually the one who provided these awesome, lovely pictures that you're seeing here as MCF and MCW, respectively. So, again, expect to see a lot more kind of different new fun things throughout this offseason. As we kind of, there's this YouTube situation has allowed us at least to, adjust and maybe not necessarily rebrand, right? We're still dropping the beat. We're still MCF. All that stuff will never change, and it'll always be Mr. MCF and I here bringing the Cowboy news, which honestly, let's get to the shout-outs, baby. We made the people wait long enough.
I definitely want to do the shout-outs, but I'm going to start with the shout-outs that we haven't done in over 3 months, and that's the star level.
Please do.
And Fan Friday, the silver level membership. So without further ado, baby, of course, right now we have one fantastic member in the star level membership, and it's the guy leading the pack right now. It's the guy handing out memberships for everybody to jump in there. It's the man staying skeptical. Much love to the star level member. The only one right now, Skeptical Fan, in that top shelf membership. Of course, there's a bonus elite level membership even above that one. We haven't even seen yet, but it's one of the new ones, and it's a new thing we're trying here as well. And the Over Everything membership, and then don't forget that silver level membership. It's kind of packed with people here, guys. We got the man Jason Renfro in the silver level. You know who he is, leading the pack in the Cash App. Trying to go back to back, and also the overall sponsor of the week. Much love to Jason Renfro, Marissa in the mix there, of course. Appreciate you. And then two legends from the old school, 34 months each. Justin Quarles, the Q-Man, and A. Lavelle, who's, by the way, the all-time leader in the silver level membership, 34 months of being in that level. And by the way, Justin Quarles upgraded up to that silver level as well. Appreciate you as always, Q-Man in the house. That's it. That's the Fan Friday special shout-outs for the over everything, I guess you'd say the silver, star, and over everything levels every Friday and every day. It's always the star and over everything levels, just so you guys know. You can check out the information on that if you wanted to. Some more in the join button there, where the it's underneath your screen there. You can check out more about the membership. It is pinned in the chat, and it is in the description. All this information is in the description as well. On that note, here 11 minutes in, now it's time, baby, to do those shout outs. So who's in the house tonight?
We have Mark Hovsepian representing Mahalo to you, Mark, the stream boss.
43 points. Darren Sproles to Deuce is loose. We'll talk about it.
Frame Rippers in the house. What's up? Much love to you. Rolando Rodriguez representing all the way from South Texas. House Nelson in the house, who, by the way, cracking me up. He's like, that's the new sleeping in separate bedrooms for married couples these days, streaming from separate rooms.
Oh, they know the secret?
So yeah, no, I said in the chat we're
trying things.
The only way for us to avoid double audio is me being in a different room.
Yeah.
Or else you would just hear both of us back and forth echoing all day long, which I'm sure is everybody's dream, right? Just our voices continuously echoing nonstop.
Back and forth.
Thomas Garrett, the superior Garrett in the house. Let me see. Hector Colon, hello and hi, what's up? Let me see who else is here. We have Bruce got the toxic juice representing. Bama fan in the house, dropping that wonderful emoji there. Scorpio, what's up? We have Chris Plumage in the house. Let me see. Who else is here? Trying to go back as far as I can.
Way back.
I think that's everybody in the house. No, skeptical fan, of course, always staying skeptical. We have El Cool representing over here. Brandon James Shea, much love. James Macias in the house. Ricardo Lewis, much love to you as well. Let me roll back down here. And, kicking things off as well. We got Skeptical Fan. He's pushing all the buttons here. Dropping a $5 holler.
Oh, he put 5 on it. Oh.
Much love.
There's the official. There's the official drop there with the $5 holler. What did the man say, baby?
Go Cowboys.
Oh, yeah.
Woo.
Oh, okay.
Thank you so much.
Oh, it's a super sticker. I see it on my side now. It's a super sticker. Okay.
Yeah, we've seen those before.
Oh, I know. It's been a while. Maybe that's all.
Oh, okay. So, yes, that's what a super sticker looks like. Oh, I'm messing with you. So, anyway, baby, I know we have, obviously, Cowboy news, football news, all the things here, right? Rudy G. Funk, what's up? Hello and hi.
Rudy G here now.
So, again, guys, as we roll in here tonight, get going, get through this, why don't you kick things off for us, baby? Let us know what's going on in our Dallas Cowboy world.
It is a Fan Friday, and it's always fun to hang and chill with the family. But as we're going to go through this here tonight, it's going to be a relatively short stream. So I want to make sure we get a lot of the interaction from the family here in the chat. Again, much love to Skeptical Fan keeping that lead on the board here and taking Mark to 38 points here. I think that's a record low for this almost 10-week streak for Mark Hovsepian. So let's get rolling here, guys. So the most expensive average home ticket prices, according to the Game Day, they had they did some studies and they put some numbers together, and the most expensive home, and this is average for all home tickets. It's not the Dallas Cowboys, believe it or not, and you're kind of sitting there scratching your head. What? Now, when we go on the road, those ticket prices are always jacked up, but at home, it averages out to cheaper than you think. Now, I'm going to say this. The Las Vegas Raiders with that new stadium, $153 is the average per ticket at home. The Niners at $140, the Patriots $131, Packers $129, Eagles $127, and down, all the way till you get to about $22. And the Dallas Cowboys average ticket price is $100. Now, you might have bought a Cowboy ticket at the stadium and said, well, I'd never paid $100 for a ticket when I'm sitting there in the stadium. Well, that's because you're sitting. You see, you got to remember, guys, first and foremost, again, it sounds extremely cheap, right? It sounds like it's wrong because $100, guys, when I was there last with the wife, when we were there, baby, we saw that when you parked, it was $80. That was 3 years ago. Now I can't imagine how much it's going to be, but it's probably $100 or more. So, yeah, prices are $100. I don't know about that. But I do know about the standing room only seats, and those standing room tickets, the standing room only tickets are what brought these prices down. That's why it's a little bit of a trickery there. I wonder if Jerry Jones was thinking about that back in the day.
Because I remember when we went, and we've, obviously we've been now a handful of times, but every time we've gone, the difference between like the cheapest seat and the standing room only, easily like $50 to $100.
Yeah, at least. So
that was bad. Yeah, and I remember the first year that we obviously went out there. The standing room only seats that year were really relatively reasonable. They were like $60 or something. When we went the last time we went, it was like $120 to stand.
Exactly.
You got to pay me to stand.
Mark Hovsepian with that $2 holler. And chipping away his own leaderboard there as a stream boss. He's still up on the board here in the top 5, like our Cowboys are when it comes to expensive tickets. And what did Mark say? Mr. Mark Hovsepian, The man repping that stream boss. What did the man say with the $2 drop, baby?
He said, Cash App drops when I donate.
Uh-oh.
Go Cowboys.
He's drawing a line in the sand saying Jason Renfro. He's saying all those that go through the Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, whatever it is. I guess he's putting up, so he wants everybody else to match it. Aloha, Mark. Much love to you, sir. One of the dominators here, one of the legends here on My Cowboys Family, one of the many legends here on My Cowboys Family. So much love to Mark, all the way from Hawaii, as we're chilling here in the MCF bar, just chilling and talking some Cowboy football here on a Fan Friday. So
yeah, not sure what's causing the audio thing on my side, because it just literally fixes itself and then it unfixes itself. So hopefully it fixes itself again. Until then, you do get Robot MCW. And again, this is the first time we're doing it in this style, so I appreciate everybody kind of rolling with us and letting us know what's going on.
I might have to lower your side here. Your voice on my side, I think may be the issue, because maybe my audio is getting caught on yours. Let
me know so I'll adjust here.
Yeah, it might be okay. It might be better now. It might be better. We'll see. Keep an eye on the. I did make a couple changes. Maybe it's better now. Either way, that's a ticket price.
So by the way, but Mark Hosepian, thank you again. Yeah. And I love how everyone has very strong opinions about the standing room only seats. I will say, Thomas, when we were there last time, Daniel Mesa was the one that actually let us know of a different trick, and I will share the knowledge with the Cowboy family here. If you are ever in Dallas, or if you're local to the area, he said the better thing to do instead of buying standing room only seats is to wait till the last minute and buy a ticket about an hour or two before the game starts. Yeah, and usually you can get a much better deal on an actual seat or seats rather than standing room only. So
now, baby, I have to interrupt because Marco Sepian dropped another $2 holler here. And I think he gave a little more clarity on what he meant by his drop, because he is chopping himself down now to 34 points on the stream boss. What did the man say?
He said, I am making it drop when it should go up. I got you. Hey, you know what? Well, the stream boss is not picking up what you're putting down. It's putting down what you're picking up.
And that's the thing. I think that we'll do. Obviously the streak would continue if Mark takes it over. If he goes,
Mark would basically take himself down to put himself back up there.
Right. So instead of going up the board, it'd probably be actually more cost worthy to go down the board for him now and then to replenish himself to 100, because I would say that's still Mark Hosepian's board and the streak continues. Just saying, just so he knows. If he put 34 down, he would be the stream boss still with 100 points now. You know what I mean? So we got you, Mark. We got you. You definitely could put some pressure on Jason Renfro if we did that with the Cash App side of things. But appreciate you, man, and appreciate everybody here with the love, the support, the membership stuff from Skeptical Fan. I love spreading the wealth, spreading the love when it comes to the memberships as well. So thank you guys on that. What's up? Cue Ball in the house. Scorpio, Xavier Hidalgo, Bama Fan, Thomas Garrett. Much love to everybody in the house. Now, that's the ticket prices there. We can, we talked about our experiences. We kind of understand why the ticket prices are so expensive for or so low for the Cowboys, not as expensive as we're used to when we see from the Dallas Cowboy ticket prices, but that's because of the standing room only seats. And, the Cowboys are, I think, a top 3 to 5 most expensive home team in the NFL. It just makes sense. Now, NFL news, real quick, guys, a couple quick tidbits of things. The Indianapolis Colts today, as expected, released Super Bowl winning quarterback, Nick Foles. They announced that today, guys. Now, Nick Foles still has 1 year remaining on his contract. He's owed $1.5 million. That's it. Guaranteed money this year from the Colts. But here's the key about him. He's the business NFL winner of player of who knows, Hall of Fame probably. Nick Foles has earned $87.5 million across the last 11 years in the NFL. Now, I know it's a quarterback, but he hasn't been a true starter really anywhere except for, Philadelphia when he did earn that Super Bowl and Wentz didn't. So what I'm trying to say here is Nick Foles right now knew how to bank in and make money on his 11-year career. $87.5 million on that kind of career. Again, fantastic job, and a Super Bowl winner too. So congrats to him, I guess, Nick Foles. But F the Eagles. Now, another team in the NFC East that's a connection there, of course, with the Eagles. But what about the Washington Commanders? Now, I know some of us want to improve this offensive line. I do too, especially at guard. We talked about Dalton Reisner from the Broncos. I've talked about him, probably the first person that talked about him that I've seen out here talking about that guy, and a couple others that are floating around that I do like on the offensive guard spot. But to me, another guy to throw in the mix, especially for someone like Mark Hovsepian, who wants to kind of maybe see Biotish get pushed or challenged. The Washington Commanders are cutting starting center Chase Rollier. He played in 69 games for the Washington Commanders since being drafted in 2017, and he's pretty decent. He's solid, but I don't think he's better than Biotish. I'm sticking with Biotish. That's just me. I don't know.
You know what else I'm sticking with?
What, baby? Tell me. Oh,
Brandon James.
Yep,
Shea.
I just saw it come up.
Much
Brandon James in the house. What did he do, baby? He dropped that $2 holler, the J. Lou holler. What did the man say?
Yes, he did. He said, why is wide receiver Bryce Ford Wheaton pick the Giants over the Eagles?
Well, a lot of that comes down to money that's being offered. Also, remember this, very important. It's not just the money all the time. It could be, one team could offer him 12, another one could offer him $13,000. But the real reason is, and again, you got a lot of contract guarantees and stuff like that. Even if it's close, it's about opportunity. Does he have better opportunity to make the Giants roster than to make, the Eagles roster? You know what I'm saying? That's those are the two determining factors for these undrafted guys that are out there floating around, or free agents, but especially undrafted guys. When you're doing these guys, catching them, like these guys will go to the place where there's not a lot of depth at receiver, like the Giants, over the Eagles where they may have more depth. I think that's a fair assessment. What do you think, baby?
I mean, yeah, and again, you have to remember, if you have it, how would you feel if you were an NFL player and you had no affiliation to the Cowboys, if your choice was between the Eagles and the Giants? Because I would pick the Eagles. Yeah,
but if you want to win, right?
Exactly.
But if you want,
there's other considerations. But
of course, money. But what about opportunity? That's my point. Opportunity is could be one of the bigger reasons why a player that's undrafted or something like that would want to go out there and sign with a lesser team overall, because you have more opportunity to make the 53, and that's the goal.
And honestly, it is kind of rare to be able to choose from like the NFL team that you want to go to or want to end up with. So most players that do have any kind of choice do try to choose, obviously, either the more successful team or the team that's going to pay them more. That usually the only ways it ends up going. If a player has a choice, most players don't. Yeah, right? You get drafted, you get traded, you get signed.
Or you're undrafted. Yeah,
you sign. You.
Yeah, exactly. So
that's what I'm saying. When a team wants you that you want to be on, that's nice. So by the way, real quick, Kelly Presley, that is awesome. Seriously, really, really cool.
Go Cowboy.
Tony, I'm pretty sure who was it that we saw when we were at the airport? We saw a Dallas Cowboy at the airport. Was it Emmett Smith?
No, it wasn't Emmett. I don't remember.
No, Emmett.
We saw him in
damn it! No, look, guys, I can't remember who it was, but at least once we definitely saw a Cowboy-related or adjacent player in the Dallas airport.
I forgot who it was. He'll come to us, baby. We got a drop,
but we were running. We were late.
We got a 5 on it from the man all the way from Hawaii, Mark Hovsepian, dropping it once again. Now down to that old J-Ron Curse, 27 points on that stream, boss. What did Mark have to say with that $5 holler?
Much love, Mark. He said, "Picking Luke will haunt us." Mark my words. We are marking your words, Mark. Osiris was a huge upgrade over Farniok, and we know that Tyrone will be injured. Luke is not a huge upgrade at tight end.
I mean, I cannot disagree with those comments by Mark Hovsepian. I think most people agree with what Mark is saying in the general assessment that we got this guy Luke Schoonmaker way too early when there's other guys that may have been better, and not only other guys at tight end, but other guys at the offensive line guard position, which we definitely needed to shore up, unless the Cowboys have some other weird secret plan that we're still going to wait to see figure it out. But the
plan is tight end by committee. The only thing you can do is hope that our personnel this year and the way we use them will be better.
And that's
otherwise it's going to look just as bad as receiver by committee did.
And I think that's the issue, though, is that we shouldn't be having a receiver by committee when we got Ferguson and we have Hendershot. And I truly think that Schoonmaker will help. I think he will help. I think he's an equal. He's someone that's close to being equal to Dalton Schultz. So in a way, yeah, we didn't get better, but we didn't get worse because we didn't get worse because we have Schoonmaker. Now we can debate where he got picked, and that's something we're not going to really discuss that tonight because we discuss that so often. But I understand where Mark's coming from, and
it's still worth pointing out though that we got Schultz in the fourth round.
Fourth round, yeah.
So if the Cowboys were trying to keep a Schultz equal replacement, we paid more draft capital for this Schultz than the previous one. And I think what Mark is trying to say that if this guy is better or supposed to be better, as of now, he hasn't really seen anything that makes him think that he's going to do better than Schultz. So it's not even a minor upgrade.
Well, here's the thing. I think that he is very similar to Schultz in the things he can do, blocking and receiving. But I think, and again, he's much more athletic than Schultz, but I think the big key determinant, which is why the Cowboys see him as a better player, as a player who's going to get more use than we all think. There's one main reason. It's because of the versatility he has. Maybe that's because of his agility and his athletic ability, but it's also because he can play as a receiver, he can play as a slot receiver, he can play as a tight end on the line, he can play as an inline blocking tight end, he can play as a fullback. And those things matter to Mike McCarthy. So I gotta figure that his usage is going to be 40 snaps out of 60. That's a starter quality. That's a worthy second round pick to the McCarthy line.
You can't not call him a starter if he's getting 40 snaps like that.
Agree. And he's going to get him. He's going to get 10 at fullback. He's going to get 10 at receiver. He's going to get 20 at maybe 15 as a tight end and 5 as an inline blocker.
Skeptical fan bringing up a good point here, saying maybe Dak wanted him.
Well, again, his input could have made a difference in what he's looking for in that kind of tight end. Maybe he's saying what Dalton Schultz gave him, and they said, let's look for somebody who has the Dalton Schultz qualities, but more athletic, higher upside for him, and better DNA, you can say, going into the future. And basically, we took Schultz out, going to get a 4th rounder for him or a 5th round comp pick, and we brought in Schoonmaker, who's going to replace the Schultz ability, who's going to be better than him, hopefully. It's what the Cowboys are saying. And is going to be used even in more all over the place and more in different positions than Schultz was able to do. I don't know. That's what I'm guessing on this. That's a guess. We'll see what happens.
I'm trying to not throw the baby out with the bathwater as far as the tight end situation.
I understand.
But I do understand why Mark feels the way he feels. And I also understand why the Cowboys got him and the types of upsides that the Cowboys see in him. So I'm not like a really weird in between spot here right now.
We'll keep talking about it. Trust me, every day of these live streams, I'm sure Luke Schoonmaker is going to be an issue of discussion. And he deserves to be until we see what he can do and how he's going to be using this scheme and offense. So,
I agree.
Anyways, back to the NFL stuff, the free agency. I just want to reiterate again, my eyes looking towards kickers like Robbie Gould, like Mason Crosby, like Matt Prater. And I'm looking at offensive guards in free agency, like Roulier from not Roulier, that's the Washington guy, but Dalton Reisner from formerly of the Denver Broncos. I know they got Jonathan Pugh out there. Somebody with a little more starting experience than what we got right now, if we're not moving Tyler Smith to guard. So that's how the Cowboys have to play on here, because Terrence Steele is not going to be ready week 1 to right tackle. So that's why Tyron Smith's going to play out there. Tyler Smith's going to play left tackle, and now we got to figure out who's going to go guard. Are you going to put Chuma Edoga as a starting left tackle? And then you shift in Tyler Smith at guard? That's probably the only thing we got going for us right now. If we were to do a move like that and keep Tyron Smith on the right for Terrence Steele and Tyler Smith at guard. That's the only thing we can do there right now, because Ball ain't going to hack it, inside or outside, in my opinion. But Mark Hosepian's hacking it, and he's moving up this board with furious speed. With the $5 holler, the 5 on it, baby. What did the man say? Marco Seppian, all the way from Hawaii, and is he down to Emmitt Smith points? Deuce Vaughn's college number there. Deuce. What did Mark have to say, baby?
So Mark, he said, if Luke has better DNA, Osiris is a damn mutant compared to Farniok. Wasn't everyone saying that Dak was getting killed and our $40 million quarterback needed help?
That's true. That is
again. I am assuming that the Cowboys see that help as a multifaceted process. Look at some of the adjustments we did make on the O-line. We fired the coach, right? We technically got some depth. We are discussing our O-line situation as far as who's actually going to be out there playing what position. It sounds like based on some comments made by our front office too, we've been moving some of our guys that we already had. We're already starting the kind of O-line shuffle, right, with Ball and the other guys who started working at other spots. So at least for that, the Cowboys, in their mind, they're doing what they had to do. But the other side to that offensive line coin is our offense and our scheme, and the fact that Kellen Moore is no longer running it. So, okay. Why can I? Okay, hello.
No, I'm here. I'm sorry. I just wanted to make sure. I think we're getting a little bit of reverb, but once again, I'm sorry. When I'm not talking for a while, my side kind of gets a little bit of the background.
I don't get it because I had the audio playing of us in the background or whatever, and sometimes it sounds fine, and sometimes it doesn't.
It clicks on and off. It isn't something we have to continue to fix here in MCM as we go forward.
So again, we'll have to get that
figured out.
Audio program reinstalled properly. So
now let's keep it rolling here, baby. Great assessment there. I do want to talk about Dak Prescott since we're talking about him a little bit here. $40 million quarterback.
Anyway, sorry, real quick.
Go ahead.
The last thing I'll say since I didn't get to finish saying it, I think the Cowboys see Luke as help for Dak. I think the Cowboys see all of these little things they've done offensively as help for Dak, including moving on from Kellen Moore.
Agreed.
That's their mindset, I think.
Agreed 100% with that. And when it comes to helping Dak, I mean, that's a safety blanket for him. It would be, I don't think Ferguson is necessarily that for him. They want to make Ferguson get down the field. Hendershot's athletic as well, down the field, getting open, getting in spots. And I think that the last option is going to be sneaky little Luke Schoonmaker. And that's going to be the role he's going to play, blocking and doing some basic stuff as an outlet for Dak Prescott. Now, as we talk about I want to go back to really quickly, and not really on the comment, but more on something in this comment, and Marco Sepian's $40 million quarterback that we needed to help, right? And part of that help is not just getting weapons, it's also getting sure he gets protection. That's part of the issue why he's saying we should have got Osiris Torrance. And I agree. Cowboys disagree with us. The Cowboy front office, and I'm talking about Jerry Jones, Stephen Jones, Mike McCarthy, based on the Wilma Clay pieces that he put together, didn't have Osiris Torrance that high up. Whatever the reason is, they didn't like his non-versatility, which we know is something the Cowboys almost love to a fault. Let's be real. That's a little bit of a fault, in my opinion, when you're getting guys only because they're versatile over maybe the talent you need. But either way, they can't cry over spilled milk. We got to go this route, and the Cowboys better have a freaking plan going forward. So when it comes to Dak Prescott, last year, he was, towards the end of the year, last 2 weeks, 3 weeks of the season, we were the 31st worst, or 31st ranked pass blocking team. One of the least amount of times to give your quarterback in the pocket was done by our pass blocking offensive line. So by the end of the year, I think we ended up 28th. Not much better, a little better, but not much. Obviously horrific. That's an F. So we got to get better at the pass blocking side of things, and that's why Osiris Torrance seemed to fit perfectly into that spot. The Cowboys, they said, nah, we're gonna just go at Luke Schoonmaker. So on that, going forward, the Dak help that he may need in there in the pocket is one thing. What about the money he's been paid? All these big money contracts we see, by multiple contracts coming on in the last year and a half, 2 years after Dak's contract. I mean, Dak's now the 10th, tied for 10th, I think, on the quarterback cost list. Deshaun Watson, guys. Deshaun Watson. I just want to remind everybody. I know he's had issues with off the field stuff, but Deshaun Watson, he has one playoff win. And he has $230 million guaranteed. So, I mean, some people wanted Deshaun Watson over Dak. I'm not saying he's not better. Maybe with this team he would have been better than in Cleveland or in Houston. But, hey, he got his team to the playoffs and got one win there for $230 million as of this point. Remember, we're talking about paying them for their what they've done. I mean, that's the big thing for a lot of people. Got to pay Dak for it. He didn't earn that. Well, did Deshaun Watson earn $230 million? Definitely not yet. Did Lamar Jackson? He has one playoff win, and he's getting $135 million in guaranteed money. Kyler Murray, 0 playoff wins. He's getting $104 million in guaranteed money. Kirk Cousins, 1 playoff win. I mean, we know his career, right? He's $76 million guaranteed in a 2-year extension. I mean, does he have to prove himself? My point here is all of these guys, Kirk Cousins, Kyler Murray, Lamar Jackson, Deshaun Watson, they're getting paid I would say equal or much more than Dak Prescott is guaranteed money, especially at the guaranteed money side of things. And Dak's got more wins, more success. I know he's played a little longer than most of these guys except for Kirk Cousins. I'm just saying, my point is if Kirk Cousins is making top 12, top 13 money, where do you think Dak should be? based on the wins and what you've done for me lately. So again, I'm not trying to say that we should even compare Dak that we want a Kirk Cousins, but Dak is better than Kirk Cousins. And right now, when it comes to these other quarterbacks I just mentioned who seem to be better than Dak, Dak has had more success, whether it's a better team, but he hasn't had better coaching. We all know he hasn't had better coaching. So at least if you can say
that's been one of the biggest things holding back Dallas. And for everyone who wants to say, oh no, this, that, or the other, you can't deny the positive impact that McCarthy and Dan Quinn have had on this team in the last 2/3 years. Coaching matters.
Definitely last year.
The Cowboys are trusting in our coaches more than they ever have before. I think that's a testament and a sign to how well they are also doing. You can't separate one of those things from the other.
Yeah, and you look in the chat, Retro Scotty said Steve Avila was ranked in the 4th round by the Cowboys. So the Cowboy rankings are different than what Marco Sepian's rankings are, what MCW's rankings are, than what MCF's rankings are, and your guys' rankings. So
yeah, but if the Cowboys really did not like Avila or were okay with letting him be picked by another team that high because they weren't going to do it, I think Mike Aldana said it earlier. The Cowboys seemed determined to pick a tight end regardless of who it was at that spot. So it sounds like whether it was 1st or 2nd round, it almost didn't matter because they were targeting that position at whoever was the highest guy left still.
Yeah. No, and look, I just want to say this as we kind of rolling back for the help for Dak. He didn't get Avila, he didn't get offensive lineman in the higher rounds. To me, it's Luke Schoonmaker is a way of helping Dak Prescott. I kind of made the point of saying Darnell Washington would have been a guy that helps the Cowboys in the run game and helps Dak Prescott in the pass game, almost as an offensive lineman that can catch. And I think that, I'm not saying he's an offensive lineman that can catch, but Luke Schoonmaker is a versatile tight end that can block again, especially for the running game, and has some athletic ability, high upside to be a receiving tight end, which is why they probably liked him over Darnell Washington. So he's not your big, bulky blocker, but he's a guy who's, technically, when it comes to his foundational abilities and technical work in the blocking game, he's above average for a tight end. And I think that's what the Cowboys are looking at, the fact that he's good on both these things and can get better going forward. So, that's just, I'm just throwing that stuff out there. I don't want to get too much lost into that. I just want to stay with that on Dak. I think they helping Dak with Schoonmaker as an outlet and as another blocker on the field. So maybe not an offensive left guard, but definitely another guy out there to block for the run game, which we know there's a lot of running here on run stop on defense, the way we drafted, and running the ball on offense. It looks like we were showing that. So that's all to help this man here in the middle of your screen, number 4, Dak Prescott. So now let me switch gears. That's the only thing I got on Dak today. I do have something on this guy here, his receiver, C.D. Lamb, baby, TDCD. We talked about it yesterday, A.J. Brown's comments. when PFF said, hey, who do you got, A.J. Brown versus C.D. Lamb? And he said, quote, respectfully, stop comparing me to C.D. He plays the slot and I play outside and I play inside. Compare him to Cooper Kupp or guys like that. It's not the same. Again, after people kind of came out and said, that's kind of, you're kind of wrong about that, A.J. Brown, he responded with, again, retweeting that and said, quote, I can play both, but for facts, y'all can keep the comparisons. So again, he's very offended. He's very offended, A.J. Brown, that they would dare compare him to C.D. Lamb. So let's just
how dare they?
We talked about it yesterday, right? We talked about what they said. We talked about the silliness of that, which, A.J. Brown, he plays outside and inside, but so does C.D. Lamb. And if we had a better slot guy, a committed slot guy that we had that was only a slot receiver, then C.D. Lamb would play more outside. We know this, and he'd do it as good a job or better than A.J. Brown. So let's just look at the stats now. We talked about this yesterday. I said, let me just look a little bit more about this, and I found something, guys, because it's plain and simple. I'd rather take C.D. Lamb because he does very similar things as A.J. Brown, but he also does everything as well in the sense of running the ball. First and foremost, CeeDee Lamb, he runs the ball. He has 10 rushing attempts for 47 yards. He averaged, this is all last year, not his career. Last year, 10 runs for CeeDee Lamb, 47 yards. He averaged 7.3 yards per rushing attempt in games where he's had 2 or more attempts. So again, it's not just the one carry he gets. When he gets two carries, he gets you 7 yards an average when you run it twice to him in a game. So he's effective on the ground. A.J. Brown, 0 rushing attempts. Okay, that's one. But let's go into what already an advantage for CeeDee Lamb. But let's look at the claim by A.J. Brown about he only plays inside. Well, let's look at this. A.J. Brown in 2022, he had 157 snaps in the slot. That was 25% of his snaps were in the slot. 25%. So 1 out of 4 plays he's playing slot. He claims he's an inside-outside guy. CeeDee Lamb was in the slot 376 snaps. So obviously CeeDee Lamb is a much heavier used slot guy. That's 62% of all of CeeDee Lamb's snaps were in the slot. So you're comparing the slots there. Yeah. Obviously 25% for A.J. Brown and 62% for CeeDee Lamb. But then when you look at how many times these players were out wide as an outside receiver, 453 snaps last year from A.J. Brown. 75% of the snaps were outside. CeeDee Lamb was outside, out wide. 218 snaps last year, about half, and that's 32% of the snaps. So it makes sense that right now, when you have no real slot guy, that CeeDee Lamb's going to be running and manning the slot. But the claim that A.J. Brown has made that CeeDee Lamb cannot play in the slot, and you compare he cannot play on the outside is ludicrous and stupid. So when we get a Brandon Cooks, who by the way plays 3 out of 4, 75% of the time he's like A.J. Brown. He plays on the outside as an out wide receiver. CeeDee Lamb's still going to stay in the slot, but the difference here, both these guys, CeeDee Lamb and Brandon Cooks, both these guys can flip-flop in the slot, and I think you're going to see a lot more of CeeDee Lamb on the outside this year. I can't wait to see what happens. And I can't say enough about the man, Mark Hosepian. Another 5 on it. The $5 holler drop from Mark. All the way from Hawaii, repping that navy blue silver and that star. Baby, please let me know what the man Mark said.
He said, we have the 31st ranked blocking O-line?
At the end of the year.
Money, I know, he's just...
Yeah.
Let me read it with the dramatic effect it deserves. But he said, my money is on a guard over a tight end to help that, especially when the guard is Farniok. We got 0 worthy depth on the O-line. Again, I am assuming a big reason why we chose to do what we do was not just a combination of who was available to draft there, but yeah, like I said, I think our new offensive line coach, with his little behind-the-scenes shenanigans that he's pulling with some of our depth guys, Cowboys said, fuck it. Like, I have no other words to say there as far as that. Like, I'm not saying I agree with it. I'm just saying I think this is what they're doing. So, and then Mark Hosepian followed that up with another $5 holler. Thank you so much, Mark. And he said, Fehoko is another Ane. Between him and what we paid in draft capital for that cornerback, we could have just moved up and nabbed the tight end and then drafted Osiris in the second round. Again,
yeah.
I still admit, I'm not trying to bash Scott, right? Eric Scott?
Yeah, Scott Eric Jr. Yeah. Eric Scott Jr., yeah.
I was going to say, I'm like, his name's Scott Eric? Shit. Oh, no. So, again, I'm not trying to bash Eric Scott. I'm still just as, again, a little bit confused like everybody else as far as why we spent draft capital on him. But it seems clear that the Cowboys had no intention of moving up in this draft for anyone. They kind of only really did it for this guy, I think, because of these circumstances. But outside of that, it seems pretty like we had the chance to move up to get the tight end that we wanted, technically. Probably.
Yeah.
And we chose to just kind of let things happen the way they did. We ended up not even trading down because we valued MAZI Smith that much.
And,
I don't know. It's really hard, honestly, Mark, to answer some of that, like the second part of your $5 holler there, just because of the fact that I have no idea what the Cowboys draft board looks like. If they really had Avila ranked as a 4th round guy, you know, we have to kind of circle back to what is it that they're looking for. You know, what metrics about Steve Avila put him so low on the Cowboys list? What about Schoonmaker put him so high up on the Cowboys list? So
that's something I think we're gonna have to probably
cracking into McClay's brain.
We're gonna have to probably see that on the field, I think, as time goes on. By the way, I think we'll have to see how that plays out with Mike McCarthy. And you know, Mark, I do agree that I agree with him. We could have done these moves. The Cowboys don't seem to be very agile to make these moves to trade up and move around. I just think the Cowboys are pretty bland when it comes to these kind of things in recent years, and it continued this draft, except for getting Eric Scott Jr., which I don't have any clue why they did that. And Mark, he dropped another 2, a J. Lou 2 on us, baby. So what did the man say, Marco Seppian, with that last $2 holler? He just...
That's the reason, Miss Amy. Those dicks. Hey, we have quite the collection of those here in our front office. Oh, thank you, Mark. Much love. And honestly, the real question is, and I'll throw it out to you guys. We obviously do trust Will McClay, but how much of this was, like, we've all kind of discussed, Will McClay's decisions, the front office's decisions. So, I feel like McClay should really hold a workshop or something on what it is that he looks for when he evaluates players. So that would actually be kind of cool.
Well, I think
Universe, shout out to you, Edward Dozier. Let me see, Kelly Presley. Just want to do some shout outs here in the chat. Mike Aldana, Skeptical Fan, Retro Scotty. Yeah, Retro Scotty's comment cracked me up earlier. Oh, he said, if I saw Chaz Green in an airport, I'd give him condoms so he can practice safe sacks.
That's funny. Well, we need it now. We don't need it anymore, right? But hey, listen, Will McClay, I don't know what the method behind his madness is. He's hit much more than he's missed, and he brings these guys to the table based on if he was on another team and they wanted a certain kind of blocker, offensive lineman, or Avila or Torrance, maybe a lot higher, but the Cowboys wanted a certain type of offensive linemen, and that made Avila not fit their profile. And that means that McClay brings whoever they want him to bring, or the kind of guys they want. Avila did not meet those things that they were looking for. Neither did Michael Mayer at tight end. So I think those are the things we have to remember. At least remember, whether we think it's clown show or not. What the coaches asked for, what the front office asked for, is what Will McClay brings to his knowledge to the table at the best he can. So, we'll see how all these picks play out, not just on our team, but other teams that we skipped on guys. Now, CeeDee Lamb, I just wanted to finish with him, baby, real quick, because to me, he's going to be in the slot a lot this year, maybe not 62%, but he will be in the slot probably close to 50-50, if not more. So we'll see how that plays out and see how that matches to A.J. Brown's thought process. And by the way, speaking of the thought process, we got a takeover, baby. First time we've seen a takeover, but it's really the same guy. Mark continues his domination with an $11 Micah Parsons holler. Boom, as he enters the room here, and he takes over the stream boss. Once again, Marco Seppian keeps his streak alive going into the 10th week here if he gets over this one. He has 2.5 months of the stream boss. That's never been done before. And now he's in second place on that overall board, just a little behind Skeptical Fan, baby. What did the great Marco Seppian have to say?
Thank you, Mark. He said, MAZI was a need, and we had to draft him since Jerry Jones decided not to get Puna. He forgot how good Puna is. I love me some Puna and flute time. I can live with MAZI. It's just we could have done better. Clown show.
Yeah, well, hey, by the way, we're bringing it back for you, Mark. I know you love it, so you know what? Let's just show it. Clown show, baby. It's they're always around. They're always around every little corner. And you can even see us back there a little bit, still bouncing around. I love it. We got a little style in MCF. We're trying different things here. It's a Fan Friday. We're trying new things on Fan Friday. Much love to the man Marco Seppian, now officially back to where he was 3 months ago, and he's been holding that crown for the last 3 months, basically, here at My Cowboys Family. Much love, and he continues that streak. Now, not as Mark 96701. He's Mark Seppian once again. Much love to Mark. Appreciate him as always. And he is closing in on Skeptical Fan a little bit. Now, again, Skeptical gave a lot of gifting stuff on the membership side, so he's definitely keeping his lead, but it's close. Now, baby, let's keep this thing rolling because we got a lot more to talk about here, and it's not just about, the CeeDee Lamb and Dak Prescott. The offense, as far as our starters are concerned, we're done with those guys for now. It's more about the NFL draft and what some high-ranking officials, you can say executives in the NFL, someone like a Will McClay, right, would be, how they kind of gave their breakdowns on the entire draft class. On all 32 teams, you're getting a lot of anonymous NFL execs bringing their thoughts to the table about every team's picks, but I don't care about any other team. I'm curious with these high-level execs that work in scouting and work in the front offices and maybe in some coaching situations, how did they think about the players we drafted? And I'm curious to know, baby, what you think and what the chat thinks, Marco Seppi and everybody in the house thinks about some of the points that were made, good or bad or ugly. So a lot of intrigue, of course, was surrounding the Cowboys in our first-round pick. And the Cowboys, it's known, it's written, it's fact. They were going to draft not Michael Mayer, not Steve Avila. They were not MAZI Smith. They were going to draft tight end Dalton Kincaid. This is a fact. This is not me just speculating. This is a fact. Now, Buffalo Bills jumped the Cowboys, got him, and they knew. The Bills said, quote, we had a good feeling that Kincaid was going to be Dallas's guy. So the Bills knew it. They jumped us, hence why they went and grabbed him. And then you see an NFL executive, unnamed, said this about that would-be pick, quote, that's a dangerous game to play because what if Dalton Kincaid isn't the best tight end out there? What if Dallas had Michael Mayer as their top tight end, but they really wanted MAZI Smith all along? I'm old enough to remember when the Eagles outmaneuvered Houston for tackle Andre Dillard. How did that work out? End quote. So again, just because you jump someone to get a guy you may have wanted doesn't mean that's the right pick or a good pick. And again, I think what's being said here, two things. Some NFL execs think that Kincaid was not the best tight end on that board. The Bills thought that, and the Cowboys thought that, but a lot of teams didn't. And there's a word out there saying that what if the Cowboys, they're trying to hide the fact that maybe they liked a Michael Mayer out there, but yet they because they wanted him, but they had him as their top tight end, but they wanted MAZI Smith all along. I guess you can stretch that, but we know the Cowboys definitely had Dalton Kincaid as their guy, and any other guy they had, Michael Mayer was obviously not their guy because MAZI Smith was the next on their list. So
I said in the chat, but real quick, I do think it's interesting that out of all the teams in the NFL, the Bills are the ones that jumped us to get Kincaid.
Why do you say that?
Talk as much crap as you want, but it's not like let's say the Bears jumped us or something like that. Like the Bills are, I would consider them a very solid team. I think they do a good job overall of building their team around Josh Allen. I think they've done some pretty good moves since then to kind of keep the team at a high competitive level. So maybe it does just come down to whatever the Bills are doing offensively is just somewhat similar to what we're doing. So we have them ranked higher because we probably value similar skills in our tight ends.
Interesting. No, that's a good point.
Because I remember we've talked about in the last year or two how the Bills were offensively for a while there, what we were hoping to see with Dak. And again, maybe not this past year, but I think like the year before that. Back to you, baby. That's all.
That's a great point.
That out of all the teams, that it was the Bills.
Yeah, that's a great point. And they're scouting well. Their coaching is good. They got a good front office, and they know how to bring guys in. And you're right. And they get a guy who fits in with their quarterback and Josh Allen, something the Cowboys wanted to try to do with Dak Prescott. So great point. Now, the Cowboys then obviously, tapping their wrist, tapping their vein. They're trying to get that feeling again of getting that tight end in the second round, which they obviously put all their eggs in the basket of tight end. They wanted that tight end in the first round. We went in the second round and grabbed the Dalton Schultz replacement in Luke Schoonmaker. Now, also from Michigan, like our first pick, MAZI Smith. And again, basically what most people think about executive-wise, yes, MAZI Smith, Cowboys got their Schultz replacement in the second round. They wanted him in the first round. So I guess you look at it like that. In some ways, the Cowboys made out. I guess I'd rather they go Schoonmaker in the second than Kincaid in the first. I'm being honest. So that's one of the things you're seeing from the Cowboys when you look at this. And then of course, the reason we got MAZI and every single NFL executive out there pretty much agrees that Saquon Barkley, there with the Giants. The Eagles' innovative run packages they got there with Jalen Hurts, and of course now DeAndre Swift. I'm going to bring him up in a minute here, and Washington Commanders that got 3 runners weighing at least 220 pounds right now each. So again, we got to stop the inside run. So obviously that's the reason for MAZI Smith, and a lot of people agree with that, and definitely think that that's a great move there. But another NFL executive said this about the MAZI Smith pick, quote, "I'm not a huge fan of taking a 2-down nose tackle high in the draft, but MAZI Smith is a good player. He will control the middle of the field. He gives them some needed beef. He plays with leverage. He is strong. He has enough range to go tackle to tackle. He is good at what he does, even if you don't love the skill set that early in the draft." So again, they're saying Will McClay went a little bit too high there. Other NFL executives are claiming that maybe you went a little too high for MAZI Smith because he's a 2-down nose tackle. But let me interrupt here, because this executive saw it, and it's not the only guy that says that they believe MAZI Smith's going to be a 2-down nose tackle, as opposed with a player that has a higher pass rushing potential. Those third downs, they're not going to keep MAZI in there, and that would make him not worthy of a first-round pick, according to a lot of NFL executives. But Will McClay literally was asked this question, and he 100% disagreed with this kind of idea in his press conference last week after the draft. I will say that this pick, we know it's Will McClay's, kind of push. We'll see the success or not on this pick, and it will definitely come back on McClay more than some of the other ones. It is worth noting, though, that roughly half of the scenarios, a 2-down kind of nose tackle is going to be facing at least one out of 2 plays. He's going to probably face one passing play, a nose tackle. So to say he can't play the pass rush is silly. He obviously can play the pass rush now, maybe not to the extent that you want to see. But if you get a solid 2-down guy that can, of course, control the middle, we know everybody agrees he'll stop the run. But it's more about controlling, what are you going to do on those second downs when they throw the ball? Are you going to, be able to keep MAZI Smith in on those second downs and 8s, and they throw the ball? Are we going to be doing that? So, again, you got to remember, in my opinion, most 2-down defensive tackles, even Hankins, you can say, a lot of these 2-down guys, they still all face quarterbacks that drop back to pass the ball. So my point here is MAZI Smith, no matter what happens, and Will McClay knows this, yes, he's got something now. He's going to give us immediate help, and it's going to help the entire defense and this run-stopping ability for our now elite defense. And I think it's more important to say consistently elite. That's going to be the key. But I think that the future production we're going to need from MAZI Smith as pass rushing, as Will McClay said, might be coming sooner than we think, because he has to, because he's going to get a lot more downs, a lot more experience. He's going to have to hit the ground running, so to speak. And he'll have to contribute consistently. Probably 1 out of 4 plays, in the pass rush side of things in his first year early in his rookie career here. So Will McClay said this, quote, "I think there is an ability for MAZI to rush the passer. You watch the Michigan tape, and he is playing on a flat stance. He doesn't get after the passer. Well, you change things up front, and you put him with Dan Quinn and AD within our defense. Not only so he can stop the run, but we feel like there is an upside in rushing the passer as well and being a disruptive force in the backfield." So the guys, we got to wait and see. Is Will McClay right? Is Will McClay wrong? Well, we'll have to see how this thing plays out. But I do believe, based on the rest of this defense being so good and the run stop being below average, let's say, that MAZI Smith and Hankins are going to bring something that is going to make every player better on this team. I don't care if it's coverage, I don't care if it's safety, corners, linebackers, edge rushers, pass rushing, inside run stopping, filling the gaps. I don't give a good goddamn. No matter what it is, the Cowboys will be better because of MAZI Smith. And that is worth a first-round pick to me. So, any comments maybe on this? Any thoughts in the chat as we're kind of winding things down here a little bit on a Fan Friday?
I mean, again, we have to remember that part of the reason we're having this discussion is that we are picking 26th. So, it is hard for me to disagree with the basic fact that MAZI is one of the better picks that we could have gotten there at that spot. So it's a position of need. He's the number one guy doing what he does at that position of need. He has even more talent that Dan Quinn is excited to explore. I mean, honestly, I think the Cowboys would have probably gone more wrong going with one of their offensive picks realistically. And let's see how it plays out, right? In the next 2-3 years, just like we do every year with all the other drafts, tell me how Kincaid does. Tell me how Avila does. Tell me how all these other guys that we were hoping the Cowboys would get at that spot do. And then I think when you look at what MAZI is going to be able to do for us, especially under Dan Quinn, forget it.
And when you think about what Micah is going to do and what these other guys are going to do, they're all going to get in there faster. That the linebackers don't have to worry about the gap play action anymore and worry about covering those running down, those run gaps, because they got Hankins and MAZI Smith up there on first downs and run downs. So I think that's going to be very helpful for this defense. For Dan Quinn's going to get the most out of MAZI and by in turn make this defense, I think, consistently elite. Very important words there, in my opinion. And again, as we know, it's all about the DQ, baby, in this situation, and Dan Quinn. And I think that is, I trust Dan Quinn. I trust in Will McClay, and I trust in Dan Quinn and getting any defensive guy in there and getting him to the best and the most of his abilities, his strengths, his skill set, and you'll see it right away. Now, I do want to keep with Dan Quinn. Yesterday we talked about Dan Quinn's quote-unquote pick. Maybe not. It's that 178th pick right there, cornerback Eric Scott Jr. But we also talked about how that could be a John Fossil pick as well. Either way, no matter whose pick it is, he's a Dallas Cowboy. And again, I hate to be, I almost sound mean about this, but there he is, guys. Eric Scott Jr., number 37 for the Cowboys. I am going to bring him up here for a quick minute because I wanted to say something here. He did speak today with, a little quick chat conference call he had with the media. He said, quote, "I like the family atmosphere of this organization." And that's one thing we've been hearing a lot. The atmosphere, the family feeling.
That's something we hear consistently, even
recently,
from players
too.
that crap talk us, right? But real quick, Skeptical fan, have a great night. Take it easy.
Much love.
Everyone else here in the chat, take a second if you haven't already to hit like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. You guys can follow us anywhere and everywhere on all social media at MyCowboysFamily. Hop into the Discord. The link for that's in the description box down below. And again, thank you to everybody here hanging with us. But yeah, baby, back to you real quick.
Yeah, no, all good. No, I just wanted to say good night to Skeptical. Appreciate him. He's in first place on the board, and he's been gifting out memberships. Cannot do this without your love and support, brother. Appreciate that. But Eric Scott continued by saying that not just the family, the atmosphere of this organization. He said, quote, "When I was out here for my visits, I was paying attention to how people interacted. The interactions, even just between support staff and the coaches and the players. It's all a family environment here in Dallas." He also said he's looking forward to adding to the, quote, production of our Dallas Cowboys secondary. He said, quote, "I can't wait to add the production. I can see so much positivity coming from my play to be able to contribute." So again, special teams, and he's trying to knock off Nashawn Wright, Kelvin Joseph, or something that's 5th and 6th spot up for grabs. I did say Miles Brooks, the undrafted guy, look for him to be better, possibly better in the beginning of his career than Eric Scott, who was an undrafted pickup. Miles Brooks, don't forget that name as well. We talked about him yesterday. If you missed it, go and check it out. But I got to stop the books right now because we got the man, Marco Seppian, once again dropping that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on it. What did the man Mark say?
So Mark said, "Can our 1 and 2 cornerback play slot? Tell you what, Porter at 31 with a 3rd or 4th, and if that's what Casey was offering, it was well worth it. Both cornerbacks are free agents next year." Puna!
I know. The Cowboys, Jerry forgot what Puna feels like and how good it is. But yes, I do understand, though, what he's saying there. Again, neither of our guys can play slot in the cornerback spot. Trayvon Diggs and Gilmore are not slot corners. They're outside guys. So Porter being there was not going to help us. He's only an outside guy too. So that kind of answers the question there. Then, in that sense, if the Cowboys, you're saying get Porter instead and you can move one of our guys inside, that's not happening. So I do understand the concern for getting a cornerback. Eric Scott is not going to cut that. Miles Brooks, who's is going to be maybe better than number 37, Eric Scott. He is undrafted, so you know how to take that with a grain of salt. So I hear you, man. And, you know, we're losing Gilmore, and we don't know about Diggs yet, right? Next year, so we'll have to see how that goes. But great points by Mark once again. 100 points loaded, and he's getting closer. And I hear like the Jaws song, dun 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 dun, coming at you. Yeah, we got Mark in the house. Appreciate you, Ben. And yes, I feel you, man. Trust me. There's a million things the Cowboys could have done. Probably 20 things would have been like better than what they did now. I mean, you know, honestly, we got to wait and see until these things kind of play themselves out, right? That's in the end what we got to see. Now, let me go on with the other couple picks here. Eric Scott, we talked about him. Again, I talked about Miles Brooks, undrafted free agent. Check him out. I think he's going to start off. He had better production than this guy here, number 37, Eric Scott Jr. So, again, keep that in mind. I'm going through some of these. I'm going to end this thing with a little bit of the undrafteds. A couple guys I always like to feature an undrafted or two. Kind of got one main guy, a little tidbit on another one. But before I get to them, I want to go with one more drafted guy here, and a guy that I think a lot of us love here. A lot of us think he's the star pick of this draft here. Number 42. Number 42, Deuce. That's right, guys. Deuce Vaughn, number 42, you know, trying to emulate number 43, which was, you know, Darren Sproles. So number 42, Mr. Deuce Vaughn. He today, guy, again, look at his, again, he ain't spoke when he had spoken the other day. He spoke throughout a couple different advertisements and promotions he's doing that he's already kind of cashing in on as being a Cowboy. He said, quote, and I'm sorry, this was what he had said a bunch of stuff, but LaDainian Tomlinson, who is in a very similar, I'm not going to say he's the same as Darren Sproles because he's, you know, a little bigger, overall better, but running back none the same that has similar range of quality and similarities as both as Sproles and Deuce Vaughn. LaDainian Tomlinson said something very interesting. But first, what did Jason Renfro say, baby, with that dollar holler?
He said, "Go Cowboys."
Hell yeah. Always go Cowboys. Much love,
Always.
Jason Renfro in the house, as always. Repping that star for everything. LaDainian Tomlinson said this about number 42, R. Deuce Vaughn. Quote, I think he can be a matchup nightmare out of the backfield. People are comparing him to Darren Sproles, who was one of the best ever out of the backfield running routes. And I see Deuce in that same light. He will help the Dallas Cowboys. So guess what? I've said these numbers before. Take a look once again. And he led the whole, and you know, all college football guys in receptions out of the backfield. 116 catches for Deuce Vaughn in his career in college. 1,280 receiving yards in his career, 11 yards per reception, and this is not as a wide receiver, guys. This is as a running back. That's virtually impossible. I mean, you got good receivers getting 11 yards per average there, and he also has 9 touchdowns in the air. So when you add it all up, Deuce is loose, guys. He's going to be on that field, and I do believe, again, he got to make sure no injuries, nothing major happens, knock on wood. But if that's the case, he gets the opportunity. He will be a specialized running back and maybe knocking someone like Turpin. If you need a spot on this roster, do you replace Turpin with Deuce? If you have to go that route, if you see a usage for Deuce in the offense on certain downs and certain plays, you know, do you let Rico Dowdle go? You're not going to let Malik Davis go, are you? So, again, a lot of questions to be answered. Ronald Jones, our power guy. Do we bring Zeke in and they fight that out?
Again, that's why when we're talking about versatility, you know, there's nothing wrong with, you know, having one thing you're really good at. But it is very hard sometimes to make a roster if you can't be flexible and play more than one spot, because obviously that gives you a little flexibility roster-wise, too, to invest in other situations, right? So, you know, maybe the guy who can do a little bit more there ends up being the winner of that job, so to speak. You know, I mean, you're making a good point. It is not an easy decision to make, and it's not going to be, outside of injury, it's not just going to be like, oh, boom, this guy for sure, done. It is very competitive room in there right now.
I agree. Listen, it's going to be interesting to see what comes out. Again, special teams and running backs. I did want to say one thing about a mucko from the Philadelphia Eagles. Speaking of running backs, and I'll take Deuce off here because he's not the target here. But newly acquired DeAndre Swift said something about our Cowboys in a second. Here we got Marco Sepien with another $5 holler. I'll have to add this up and see what the board looks like tomorrow. But I know Skeptical Fan now is getting definitely in danger zone of being caught by Marco Sepien. What did the man say?
There was some free agent that had like 16 sacks last year. Any news on him? We do well with these free agent types for depth and whatnot. Use the picks for quality, Jerry Jones.
I know. I say throw those 5 darts at the bullseye, not 20 darts, and hope you hit 2 or 3 that may or maybe outkick their coverage for a year or two, and then it's back to reality. I hear you, Mark. I wish, but I don't know who you're talking about with 16 sacks, because anybody with 16 sacks,
I feel like that's somebody we would remember.
Somebody with 16 sacks is probably gone by now. Someone with 16 sacks, probably the Cowboys ain't paying. I don't care what their name is. The Cowboys ain't paying them probably. So I wouldn't put too much into that. I know Deion Jones, I think for the Falcons, he's not those 16 sacks, but he's the guy that's floating around out there that people are saying maybe they can bring him in. So I see Brian Bradley saying if Vaughn can block, it'd be interesting. If he can block for his size, he can give us something for that. That would be an extra bonus piece on cherry on top on Deuce Vaughn. I don't want to see Deuce Vaughn get broken down, get blocking out there. I want to see him being fast, agile, quick, speed bursts, kickoff punch returns, and out of the backfield catching the ball and sometimes running the ball. So I want to see it that way. I will say he definitely looks bigger and sturdier than I think his height and his size would make you think, and definitely bigger and sturdier than Turpin. But yeah, definitely sturdier than Turpin. But I still think that we have to take that into consideration. And instead of saying, oh, hopefully he can block or take some hits for us or whatever, like I almost want to lean the opposite way, right? Like let's make him the hardest guy to touch on the field, as in the fastest, the shiftiest, the you know what I mean? Yeah, I agree. I'm just saying, because I think that is what's going to give us a little bit more success. And of course, he's still going to have to block and do whatever. Right, but keep that limited, yeah. Similar, exactly, and not just that, but let's just set realistic expectations here, right? What kind of guys do you think he's going to be blocking against? Because, like 5'10" is usually like the baseline for most of the guys that he's going to be. He's going to be going at a lot of guys' knees, I think. Exactly. So I don't know. I feel like that just don't want to risk that. Yeah. No, listen. I want to say that Brian Bradley making up. Just talk about the number 42. In case you guys didn't know, Deuce Vaughn is taking Anthony Barr's number. But Anthony Barr's already off the team. Remember, after the new year started on March 15th or 17th, that's it. Those guys are now free agents and no longer contractually signed with the Cowboys anymore. Now they're free agents. So 42 is an open number because Barr has been gone, and the Cowboys did not re-sign him. So I just want to throw that out there. Now, talk about running backs. DeAndre Swift, guys, listen to this. DeAndre Swift, the Eagles traded for him, and I think some of you guys probably know this already, but DeAndre Swift was asked, why did you choose number 0? Remember, he took 0 as his number. A couple other guys were announced with 0, as their number today. I don't care. The other team, I think, what's his name? The guy formerly of the Bears that was now with, I forgot who he was with the Ravens now. But somebody probably knows it. He's number 0. So is DeAndre Swift with the Eagles. But the reasoning DeAndre Swift chose number 0, quote, that's how many times the Dallas Cowboys have been to an NFC Championship game in my lifetime. 0. Anything about that, baby?
I mean, obviously some people took that statement not well.
Obviously, I mean, it's a schmucko. He's an asshole, right? But the thing is this. I do want to throw this back into DeAndre Swift's face that 0 is also the number of full seasons that DeAndre Swift has played in his career. I mean, he has 0 seasons played without injury. 0 seasons. I don't
like him hurt.
I'm not saying I want him hurt. I'm just saying he's talking crap, but
yeah,
he's had.
That's what I'm saying. Like I like the way that fact matches up. I don't like the fact that he's been hurt.
Right? No, I don't either. But he's not been healthy through his whole season. Right? He's played 0. That's the number he picked. Right? 0 seasons without injury. He has 0 seasons of getting over 620 yards or more for a season. He has 0 playoff victories under his belt. He has 0.0 playoff stats whatsoever. So to me, that should give him 0 reasons to run his yap. But hey,
you know what, baby?
You get the rivalry rolling. You get the rivalry rolling that way, right?
I know, but we're all about inclusivity here at MCF, and you know what? We don't kink shame. If Swift's kink is humiliation, we're more than happy to provide. That's fine. That's fine. So
we'll be bringing the pain. Don't worry. Now. In the end of this thing, undrafted corner as we end this tonight. So, guys, you want to drop your last thoughts? Do it now. You want to drop your last drops of love from above in our new little MCF studio here. I hope you guys enjoy we're going to switch it up day to day, night to night. And sometimes
and still, messing with some of the settings and things like that. Again, guys, bear with us as we obviously adjust to that.
Yeah, you guys know, see at the bottom right there, not just Super Chat memberships are back, but you can still do it the old way, too, or the last 3 months that we've been doing it, which is, of course, Cash App, what do you call it, Venmo, and PayPal, or even the Streamlabs OBS link. But back to the thing here, guys. When it comes to our undrafted guys, I brought him up, and you're going to hear me bringing up some more. I brought him up in the past. He's allowed, I think, 0 sacks on the quarterback in his career from North Dakota State. Undrafted rookie free agent, offensive lineman, TJ Bass. Just keep on your guys. I want Mark to look him up. Keep your ears and eyes open about TJ Bass, because TJ Bass, undrafted, projected by almost every analysts to be taken in the 4th, 5th, 6th round. Nobody thought he'd go to the 7th. He's undrafted. I think maybe there's another reason for that. He slipped through the cracks. He's a nasty glass-eating guard. So expect to see this guy be in the mix, and that's where he's played other positions. The Cowboys love versatility, but it's about the guard spot. That's where he's best at. So keep an eye on TJ Bass this offseason. Another guy I wanted to highlight, and we'll talk much more about him in the near future. Trust me on that. I'm positive, because I know he'll be making some noise in training camp. TJ Bass, a glass-eating guard, undrafted. So we'll see how that produces. But don't be surprised if he beats out Asim Richards or Awesome Richards. If he beats him out, don't be surprised. Mark Hosepian in the house, dropping that 5 on it. Another $5 holler as he's closer and closer and closer to Skeptical Fans' lead. What did Mark have to say, baby?
Thank you, Mark. He said, why release Turpin when he made the Pro Bowl and is a viable wide receiver, considering we have Jack after the first 3 wide receivers? Darrell Johnson was the linebacker from Liberty with 8.5 sacks.
Darrell Johnson is on our team from Liberty. We got him as an undrafted, so if that's the guy you're talking about, yes, he's a Dallas Cowboy. Another good player there that we picked him up. We got Isaiah Hand. These are some undrafted guys we're going to be touching on throughout this offseason as we get close to rookie camp here, guys, just a week away. So great points there by Mark Hosepian. Listen, I'm not saying we should get rid of Turpin, but if the Cowboys don't see him as a wide receiver, and that's a question I got to ask, because last year Kellen Moore didn't use him as a wide receiver.
Yeah, that it really depends on versatility here, right? If Turpin is only here for that one special teams role, there's definitely going to be 1 or 2 guys on this team that can do that and also do something else. That's all I'm trying to say. So in the end, you only have so many roster spots, and I think the Cowboys are going to want depth at other positions, considering just how many, I think, even halfway talented guys we have. I mean, defensively speaking, we're pretty solid, depth-wise, actually. I would have to disagree slightly with your statement there as far as receivers, too. Just, again, not saying our receiver room is the deepest of all time, but we have made upgrades there that Turpin is not as necessary as he was even 3 months ago.
Well, see, I actually disagree with you. I think I agree more with Mark about the depth part of things. Our top 3 guys are more solid than we were last year. But after that, you get into guys like Jalen Tolbert, unproven, Simi Fehoko, unproven, obviously, and you got Turpin, unproven. And I just want to know what the Cowboys' role is going to be for Turpin and any of these guys, because that's the group fighting it out for that number 4 spot. Even though we can look at that another time, we got Jalen Brooks, another guy, Jalen Cropper, I think, is it Copper Moreno, that's over there now from Fresno State. These are going to be the undrafted guys and some of the late round guys that we're going to be challenging that receiver room. But that's a receiver room filled with 2 or 3 depth guys. 2 or 3 depth guys. We got to be careful.
I think I know what the Cowboys are up to. Who did we draft in the second round?
So it's all about the tight end, baby.
In the sense that I think the Cowboys are leaning away from having our receivers do some of those things, and they're transferring some of those responsibilities to the tight ends.
I wonder if the Cowboys will maybe do, and you make it a good point. I will say one last thing here. Again, you got Brian Schottenheimer running the offense, but more importantly, it's the Mike McCarthy offense. So what may be happening, and just bear with me on this, do you think the Cowboys, you know this happens sometimes when a coach or they find a system with a group of players they have that maybe they get the most out of it? Maybe we're trying something completely different. You know, you have to get innovative when you're rehashing your career again and trying to boost yourself. And maybe McCarthy found something, and I'm just bear with me based on what you said, actually, is where I'm basing this off of. But can you imagine running 3 tight end sets, most of 75% of the time, in a West Coast offense? It has a lot of versatility if you have the right players. If you have the right players, you have the.
I'm not gonna lie.
Well, if you have the right players, you have to have the right players, the right receivers, the right offensive linemen, the right running back, quarterback, and tight ends.
Drums and Cowboys brings up another point though. He's like, we have speed at receiver now, other than Turpin, right?
Yeah, no, yeah, we have Brandon Cooks. Yeah.
So I'm just saying that if you kind of notice some of the trends again, as long as our offense moves just a little faster to get the plays out and going in a West Coast offense style, it could work.
Yeah, no, I'm just making a point because that's never been. I don't think that's ever happened. Let me know if you guys ever heard of that. If that's never happened before, I don't see it being, that could be something that maybe McCarthy uncovers when you have the right tight end group, the right quarterback, the right, offense you have running in a West Coast tight end offense. I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there. You never know. Maybe I'm just bull crapping. I don't know.
Well, no. Hey, roll it back even more than that. Go back to Dak's rookie year and think about who his safety blankets were or his target go-to guys. Give Dak some tight end love and a solid slot receiver.
That definitely didn't sound that sounded very pornographic. Tight end love and some slot.
It didn't sound so great.
I don't know. Right now, I just see us talking over McCarthy's shoulder. It's even creepier. So let me get McCarthy out the way. Listen, I'm curious what the chat is thinking about this as we kind of finish up. We talk about tight ends. Talked about TJ Bass as a guard. What about another undrafted guy I want to focus on today? And I haven't talked much about him other than the things we know already, which he's a known name. But is he a known going to be a known NFL player? We'll have to wait and see. Because his pre-draft stuff was not even drafted. 7th round or undrafted. And that's Cowboy undrafted tight end, Princeton Fant. Now, Princeton Fant is, of course, we know he's a relative to Noah Fant. He's related to him. But the measurables, he's 6'2", 235 pounds. His hands are 9 5/8 inches. His arm length 31 3/8 inches, and wingspan 76 1/4 wingspan. Nothing too good there, honestly speaking. His pro day numbers, I'll go through them in a minute. First, we got Marco Seppian dropping another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, another 5 on it. Baby, what did Mark have to say? The guy right now who I think is about to take over the first place spot. What did Mark say?
Much love, Mark. He said, Luke is known for blocking. He's athletic, but that's never translated to the field. The issue is, if the line holds up, name one backup offensive lineman or receiver that you trust.
I mean, in our situation, in our system we got going right now, there's really, if you look at them as other starters on the offensive line, like Tyler Smith, I trust him at left guard. I trust him at left tackle. Tyron Smith, I trust him at left tackle and right tackle. I'm just saying, like there's a couple guys I can say, okay, I can trust some mix and match there. But yeah, as far as backups coming up and taking over, there's not a guy I trust right now on our backups. You take our best 5 and actually put them out there. That's it. We got the next guy I name will be a huge drop. So I feel him there. I hear you, Mark.
I mean, I think we also have to remember, can we all manage expectations when it comes to depth on football teams? I know every single team obviously does the best it can acquiring talent and stuff like that, but at the end of the day, if that player is not a starter, you're going to have a downgrade. So there's only so much like super high quality depth that any team can have at any given point. I like the fact that there's not like, oh, okay, we're like average across the board, or we have a few really good ones and then like really bad ones here. Like, I do feel like we're more or less balanced when it comes to our backup situation. Obviously, it's not ideal at every single position, but last time I checked, if Dak goes down, it's still Cooper freaking Rush that's going to be taking over.
Well, I mean,
I'm just saying that there's only so much you can do when it comes to backups. I think, again, the Cowboys are putting themselves in a position where scheming appropriately, if these backups have to go in there, will be manageable, and like kind of adding them into our scheme and helping develop them as the season goes on and stuff like that is also not just manageable, it's part of our plan.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that he also, again, you got to look, I know that he said that going back to Luke Schoonmaker and his comment about, Mark's comment about his blocking, it's funny, he's known for his blocking, but his blocking is not the best in the draft, but it's one of the higher ones. He's not known for being a great receiver, but he is known for being one of the better receivers at tight end in the draft. So that the Cowboys went for a more, like you said, maybe a higher level, balanced kind of tight end, similar to Dalton Kincaid, who probably was the only guy on both these numbers that were definitely better than him.
Yeah.
By the Cowboys scorebook here, so the scorecard. But the point is, the athleticness is where the Cowboys see him being better than Dalton Schultz in the near future. And I think that's where McCarthy wanted to bring him in there. And, obviously, first of all, much love to Mark, but also,
yes, thank you, Mark.
Yes, I also want to say that the measurables for Noah Fant, was it his cousin, Princeton Fant? Listen to these numbers. Tell me what you think, because this shows you that he has some ability. The 10-yard split, he has some acceleration, a 94 percentile, 1.52 seconds. The 40-yard time, he ran it in 4.66. A tight end, right? So again, 75th percentile at tight end. And then his vertical jump was a 73rd percentile. His broad jump was an 86th percentile, and he bench pressed in the 41st percentile. Could use a little more strength. But point is, Princeton Fant, what can he do? Again, he wasn't really a high value draft pick in this draft, but he's a known last name. Princeton Fant, he was a three-star recruit when he left high school, and then went to Tennessee, received offers to other schools before choosing to commit to the Volunteers in 2017. He played his first game in 2018. In 2019, he added two more. I think he had 2 years under his belt. In 2020, got an expanded role over the next 2 more years, totaling 1,125 snaps. So he had a lot more ability to get production on that field for Tennessee in the last 2 years of his career, starting 12 games at tight end. Now, in Tennessee, he had only 52 catches, 579 yards, and scored 5 receiving touchdowns. He also had 9 rushing attempts for 24 yards and scored 5 rushing touchdowns. So Noah Fant could be possibly fullback. I'm just throwing it out there. Now, we have, guys brought in here at fullback. We got guys that are bigger running backs, Ronald Jones, Lupenke, whatever his name is, the undrafted fullback, which we discussed already. You don't be surprised. Noah Fant, he has skill running the ball in short distances, so maybe no Zeke. You guys feel me on this? So we'll see what happens. But we know McCarthy loves tight ends, and he's watching Noah Fant's here, relative here, Princeton Fant, throwing him into the pool of undrafteds at the tight end in the tight end core. We lost Seth Green, and we lost another, I think, Ian Bunting. These guys are off the team, so this is the guy replacing him right behind someone like, I'm talking about out of the group of starters, McQuaid, and then you got someone like Princeton Fant right now, as of this moment. So again, he also added a touchdown pass, Princeton Fant. He threw twice, scored a 66-yard passing touchdown on his second passing attempt in his college career. As a pass blocker, he was not bad. He allowed only 2 sacks, and he allowed only 3 pressures on 127 pass blocking attempts in his career. As a run blocker, he had his struggles. That's the one thing you don't want to see Princeton Fant doing is run blocking. So run blocking wise, he can carry the ball for short yardage. He can catch the ball. He can throw the ball. But his big issue is run blocking. He struggled. In the last 2 years, he committed 9 penalties while blocking in the running game. His cousin, of course, is Noah Fant, drafted 20th overall by the Broncos in 2019. And, of course, now with Seattle after trading him there, I think in the Russell Wilson trade. Let me stop the show for a second. Let's get the man, Marco Sepien, once again. All from Hawaii, dropping that 5 on it. Another $5 holler.
To you again, Mark.
Yes, much love to the man, Mark. What did he say?
I'm not saying that we need all pros at backups. Farniok and Ball are horrible even as backups. I've seen many guys say that Mayer was the best receiver this year. So
I agree.
As like receiving tight ends, and again, that's one of the reasons why most of us, I think, were a little surprised to hear, at least internally, that the Cowboys did not really have him ranked all that high. Again, what are the measurables that the Cowboys are using as far as what they consider a good tight end? Clearly, the Cowboys value blocking more than receiving, at least based off of what we can see on these tight ends. So I don't know. That one does feel a little bit more preference-based, I guess, to me. But I would also agree that Mayer would be the better tight end there.
I was with you, yeah.
And also, Farniok and Ball. I mean, Ball, I didn't even want him on this team when we drafted him.
Look, my thing is this. I think we can't. You covered everything he said. We've covered what Mark has said before. But I think the bigger thing is this. I want Marco Sepien doing a favor for me. I've mentioned this guy, I think, before any... I know some other people mentioned it literally the next day. But I mentioned Dalton Reisner, formerly of the Denver Broncos, offensive guard, very solid, starting left guard. He can be our guy. The Cowboys might have to pay $6-7 million. Why the fuck not? Let's go. McCarthy, wake up. So I think this is a guy you want to put in there. You want to make sure you have a solidified left guard spot. Get Dalton Reisner in there. You want to go cheap, you get Justin Pugh. But I don't know. I don't even want him, honestly. At this point, you might as well go with our own guys. In the end, you got someone like a starting quality guy like Dalton Reisner, who's still out there, had some attitude issues. He shoved his quarterback, Ripken, last year, his own quarterback in the Christmas game. So that's where he's kind of been ostracized from the Broncos. Pick him up, give him a year here, and give it a freaking learning curve for some of these other backups that we can maybe gel in there, and maybe they can find themselves a starting spot at left guard. I don't know. But I'm just saying it's got to be better than what we got right now. So Dalton Reisner, that's the homework for the chat. Look up Dalton Reisner. Tell me what you think about him, because I'm a big fan of him. I know there's one or two other guys, and their names have slipped from my brain right now. But that's the one guy I think that the Cowboys would be a sure shot starting left guard, affordable in this part of the free agency. That's all. And the Cowboys said they're not done yet. They're looking at those deals, those non-compensation taken away deals. When you sign a guy after May 1st or 2nd, you don't have to worry about it hitting you on the comp picks anymore. And so the Cowboys can now get any of these guys and not worry about having to pay those compensation picks back. So that's my little wrap up there, baby, on that. Finishing up on the Tennessee tight end here in, what's his name? Fant, Princeton Fant. Let me say a couple things, baby. The positives about him. All right, again, undrafted, so temper your expectations. But he proved to be a kind of, jack of all trades player, similar to Luke Schoonmaker. Now, Schoonmaker is much better than Princeton Fant at this job of being an all-around kind of jack of all trades tight end. But you got to remember, he did it in a little different way than Schoonmaker. He did it more of a receiver and a rusher, running back, on the ground, right? A fullback, and a passer. He threw a touchdown. So he has exceptional burst off the line and into his seam routes. He has a straight line speed. It's very good. It helps him win when he's going down the line. Aggressive and physical as a ball carrier. Don't forget about Princeton Fant's ability to run the ball to get extra yards on the goal line. No fear as a blocker, so he's a very willing blocker. Formation, very versatile in formation. So just like Luke Schoonmaker, he can line up anywhere in the field. He played out wide from the slot and in the backfield as a fullback running back. Also versatile in the backfield as a blocker or a runner. Played as a fullback and as an H-back. So guys, Keep in mind, Noah Fant's cousin, Princeton Fant, tight end, could be a running back of some sort or a fullback of some sort or some kind of specialized offensive player, especially on our practice squad, to maybe go in there for a Luke Schoonmaker if needed. He also has soft hands when he's catching the ball at the catch point. So, those are the positives. Now let's look at some of the areas that he needs to improve in. Biggest issue is his size. He's small. He's not just undersized. His frame looks like it would be a struggle to be able to put on weight in the pros. He also lacks the length the Cowboys lack in their tight ends. To play H-back in the NFL, he's going to have to put on some more weight. So that's one of the things. He's 6'2", 230 something. He's going to have to get bigger. Now, another areas of improvement, all aspects of his blocking require coaching. He's better in passing. He's horrible in run blocking. He shouldn't be blocking anywhere in this field right now. So he's not there for blocking purposes as a tight end. His feet slow down, at the point of contact as a blocker. So he stops moving his feet. He starts to lose his block immediately. No ability also to anchor. Doesn't have that ass to put down and anchor himself. No power at the point of attack. We talked about the percentile in his bench press. Not good at all. Struggles to separate when he's running routes, especially on lateral routes. He has major issues there. So you're not going to see him going for those deeper passes than that situation. He also fails to win contested balls because of his height, especially on catches away from his body. So, again, Princeton Fant, I'm not going to hype him up for you guys. I'm going to be real about him. It's going to be tough to him to make the 53. You got guys doing everything he does already on this team. We got him, the guys drafted higher, have these guys on this team that do these things already. He's going to have a tough road. But, again, making this making the practice squad is where you'll see Princeton Fant. He's a tricky read, though. So you have to kind of see what he's going to do. Again, the words that describe him is the words that make Mike McCarthy and Stephen Jones and Jerry Jones just splooge in their pants, and that's crazy versatility. Crazy versatility is what they love about the way you can describe Princeton Fant. He has good speed and burst as a route runner and can be a nuisance to bring down in the open field. He's also a mismatch for most linebackers as a route runner. But it requires the offense to limit his route tree to short routes, not lateral routes down the field, if he wants to stay effective and not be washed out of the play. There's also, you got to add in there, like I said, the fullback and H-back ability, which make him an interesting weapon in the red zone. If he can show something in training camp and preseason, he will make the team, possibly. I think, as maybe he could push off a McQuaid. No, I'm sorry, not McQuaid, a McEwen off of this tight end group here. And maybe force himself to do those jobs. Or again, like I said, definitely make the practice squad possible. But he could be a red zone weapon. The problem is his small size at that position of tight end. And trying to define him as a H-back, running back tight end for the Cowboys is a tricky move there. A tricky piece for the Cowboys to utilize him and really get the most out of him. His best bet right now is to basically get on the team through special teams. If you can get on the Cowboy 53 or even practice squad on special teams during the preseason because of his speed, because of his acceleration, then you can work eventually towards snaps on offense to showcase what he can do as a crazy versatile piece, as they say, for the Cowboy offensive coaching staff. So I'm just throwing it out there, guys. I just wanted to give you a fair evaluation of another guy. We talked about TJ Bass, a quick little thing. We're going to get a lot of him as we go forward. We talked about other guys on our team. I wanted to break it down for someone like Princeton Fant tonight here. So again, I'm done with my discussion for the night. So make sure you guys say your last of what you're going to say, because we're about to clock out and drop out of here soon. But first, baby, we got a dollar holler from the man, Jason Renfro, baby. What did the man say?
Thank you, Jason, with a classic. Go Cowboys.
Go Cowboys. Much love. Appreciate him. And just so everyone knows, as we're getting ready to get out of here, let me make sure to give you the sponsor of the week and the Cash App King, baby. You just said his name and he just dropped that dollar hollers. We're about to drop out of here for the night soon. It's the man, Jason Renfro. Much love to him. He is the Cash App King. He's trying to go back to back. He is in the lead on the Cash App. And he's also, as you can see right underneath him, the sponsor of the week. Much love to the great Jason Renfro repping the spot here. He is on that leaderboard this week. Marco Seppian is running those 99 points on the stream, boss. He's almost fully loaded, and he's almost in first place. I'll have to do the numbers and calculations tonight, and tomorrow I'll get you the update, or I guess Sunday for our finale. Again, we have one more stream this week for sure. It's going to be Sunday night. If anything breaks or anything big happens, we'll be, of course, live again tomorrow. But Marco Sepien is running it right now for almost 10 straight weeks as our stream boss. 99 points currently on that. And I think he might be in first place, but Skeptical Fan is right there with him. Currently, last I can verify, in first place is Skeptical Fan, so we'll see how that comes out over the next couple of days. I do want to shout out Skeptical Fan one more time for these fantastic, I guess you can say, what do you call them? PNGs, maybe? I don't know. I don't get it right. I'll learn one day.
Technically a PNG, but it's from a wonderful piece of artwork that he sent to us and had made to us. So you actually have it as an emoji option if you are.
That's true.
A member.
That's true. We do. We have it there as an emoji,
which is very nice.
Yes, and we truly appreciate it, Skeptical. All you guys who do other things than just the love in here or the comments in here that go beyond, the. Just the chilling in our nightly live stream. So appreciate everybody that does that, and appreciate extra special thanks to Skeptical Fan there, baby. I guess I'll pass this over to you. Real quick,
actually, Xavier Hidalgo, yes, we will be going live for our schedule release and going over the details.
Oh, hell yeah. Oh, hell yeah.
I am not sure what the plan is for that day as far as, will we do a quick... I'm assuming we'll do it the way we usually do. We do a short video or a short stream just touching on our actual schedule release. And then later that night we discuss it a little more in depth and give...
That's exactly how we'll do. We'll do it that way. What we'll end up doing is doing a standalone 3-minute video. As soon as it comes out, we'll record it, put it out for you guys, and then, of course, discuss the games, the order, who's going to see which games, and all that good stuff on our nightly live stream later that night. It's May 11th, I think, when it hits. So it's
next Thursday, guys.
It's right around the corner. I'm ready. What else? Get the last comments maybe and do them final shout outs here on Fan Friday in the house.
Again, huge shout out to everyone here chilling, hanging with us. I'm glad you guys enjoyed yourselves as much as we did trying out this new MCF style. And again, don't worry, you will still be seeing our beautiful faces here, on occasion for, not just our game day live streams, but, live streams here and there, of course. Some other fun stuff.
We almost went like that tonight, but we figured we wanted to try this out. So, maybe Sunday we'll go full camera. Maybe we'll try another scene out here. Either way, I hope you guys are enjoying it. And it makes our stuff easier here on our side as well. And gets us, again, tonight we had a little issue, but outside of that, we should be okay from here on out. The new things take a little longer sometimes to get through. We'll get there, guys. And you'll see these pictures also alter and change from time to time, maybe every day. We'll see what happens, right, baby?
So like we said, guys, the MCF rebrand is well and underway. So, appreciate everybody here.
I love it. I love Jason Reynolds. Jason Reynolds dropping the emojis because he's in the membership, and he's dropping our little picture there from Skeptical Fan, our little cartoon caricature painting, which is what you're seeing on your screen. Much love, Jason, for dropping those emojis in the chat. Go ahead, baby, take it away.
But yes, thank you, Jason Renfro. Much love. Scorpio representing. Xavier Hidalgo in the house. Beast Mode, what's up? House Nelson, who, by the way, said, I'm going to tell everyone I'm going to tell my kids this is the real MCF and MCW. Okay, let me see. Sorry about that, guys. Let me see. Retro Scotty in the house. Much love to you as well. Have a great night. Byron Bradley. Have a great night. Take it easy. Marco Sepien, of course, fully loaded up there on that stream, boss. Woo! Let me see who else is here. Drums and Cowboys, have a great night. Let me see, Mike Aldana. Yeah, it's so funny to see all the shit talkers coming from all these shitty teams.
I love it. I love it. 5 is always great in whatever you got.
Oh, yeah. Let me see, I think Frame Rippers representing.
Yeah, Voodoo.
You know it. Kelly Presley, have a great night. I know Skeptical Fan already went to bed, but have a great night as well. That's as far back as I can go. So Charles Brown, take it easy. Have a great night.
Let me give a shout out here to those that dropped the love from above tonight. The great Skeptical Fan in first place up there. the great Jason Renfro cash apping it, and the great Mark Hovsepian. You guys been rocking the spot. Don't forget Brandon James Shea in the house, who's also not just dropping the love, but jumping in the membership. And again, I shout out Skeptical Fan first place, but also first place in the gifting portion of memberships. He gifted another 2 of them today. Much love to him. Also, Scorpio gifted one as well. I gotta put him on the board. Much love to Scorpio. He got a gifted membership from Skeptical, and then he passed it on. So appreciate you, man. And if once you're in the membership, people can also gift once you're in the membership. On our live streams or any kind of premieres. Usually, of course, it's the nightly live stream. So that's an extra special thing we just got going on MCF here. A new thing here since our May 1st kickoff here, going into year 6/7 here on MyCowboysFamily. So again, the people that got those memberships, not just Brandon James Shea, who got his, Scorpio got his, Stephen White, and Bama Fan also in that. Much love to Scorpio and Skeptical Fan for gifting those memberships. That's our second person to give memberships, the great Scorpio. So appreciate you. And also, speaking of great, the great Jason Renfro with another dollar holla. Baby, take it away. What did the man say?
Go Cowboys.
Oh, hell yeah. Hell Cowboys. Appreciate you, Jason, as always. Can't do this thing without your guys' love and support, whether it's dropping the knowledge, dropping the love, just the back and forth experience here. That's what it's about. So truly appreciate each and every one of you guys for everything you guys do for the channel. You guys represented here the best you can, the best anyone can, honestly. And we have the best fans of all YouTube. I'm just going to let you guys know that. Baby, it's almost a wrap. We got Mark Hovsepian dropping another 2 at that. $2 holler, baby, a J-Lou 2. What did the man say?
Well, thank you, Mark. He said, who's our friend who had the ill family member? Mark, I believe the one you're talking about is Retro Scotty specifically. I know his dad has been under the weather for a little while now and dealing with some stuff. But I know 1 or 2 other people have recently, unfortunately, had some situations with their parents. I hope they're okay.
I know we had like Jason Renfro. We had some, Thomas Garrett. We had a lot of people, having some family stuff going on.
But I think you're specifically talking about Retro Scotty, if I'm not mistaken. So, let me know if that's who you're thinking of.
Yeah, man. Well, we hope
Wayne
the best.
Montgomery, what's up? Much love to you.
Hey,
Take
Wayne Montgomery in the house. I know he's a long-time membership guy. I'm letting him know, baby, that if you guys didn't know, memberships are back here on My Cowboys. Everyone was kicked out of it because YouTube did something. We talked about it in the past. We're going to kind of move on from that. Got to give an extra special shout out there to Wayne Montgomery. I know one of our OGs in the membership. Appreciate you and everybody else who's jumped in the membership, gifted memberships, and we got that navy blue, silver 2, star level, and of course the over everything level newly installed here. You can see going across the top of the screen. You get to be on the show for an entire news night. A show like this, you'll be on here with us the entire night for that over everything level. Check it out if you don't know about it yet. You will know. And Mark Hovsepian knows to drop. He just dropped that $2 holler. The J-Lou 2, baby. What did the man say? Is he bringing us to a close here? My Cowboys Family.
He said,
Friday style.
Best to him. Much aloha and much aloha to them all.
For sure. For sure, Mark. Appreciate those words and appreciate all the love from everybody in the house being sent out, healing thoughts going that way to Retro and everybody else who's going through stuff right now. But yes, especially Retro Scotty. So guys, that's a wrap here, baby. I think that's it, right, in the chat?
Yeah, I think so.
Awesome.
So again, everybody here, take it easy.
Wayne's doing good, he said. Wayne's doing good. He's Walmart in Arlington, man. Again, do your thing. Appreciate you, man. Everybody here with us.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, Frame Rippers. Again, yeah, I know your mom has been under the weather for a little while, so don't want anything to happen to them.
And you need anything, man, we got you. You can always reach out to us. So everybody in the house, guys, have a great rest of your Friday. Have a great weekend kicking off. Unless anything major happens, we'll be back definitely Sunday night for the finale this week and a battle going on for that top spot between Skeptical Fan and between Mr. Mark Hovsepian. We'll see what happens, guys. Thank you all for rocking with us here, baby. Why don't you let them know what we got to do And what do we gotta do if we got it here? But first, why do we do what we do here on the Nightly?
It's that navy blue, that silver too, and that star over everything.
Win, lose, or draw, good, bad, or ugly here on MCF. We rep that star over everything. You can see it right there in my hat. And of course, almost 6 years and beyond here on YouTube, My Cowboys Family. Never forget the number one thing here, number one thing now, number one thing forever here on My Cowboys Family. And say it with us, say it loud, say it proud. Go Cowboys!
Go Cowboys.
We tried, baby. We tried. I was wondering how we were going to do that. All right, baby. That was good.
There's no signal.
Yeah, I know. Guys, thank you all for rocking with us here. Truly cannot do this without you guys. Your drops of knowledge in the chat, the going back and forth. We need that to keep doing this. We need your input so we can drop your thoughts and give you our thoughts about your thoughts, and we'll round and round and brainstorm, right? Thank you all for your drops of knowledge. Also, truly humbled and appreciative of your drops of love from above. You know we can't do this without your love and support, so thank you on that side as well. Baby, it's time to drop out and clock out officially for this evening. We'll be back Sunday at the latest here on My Cowboys Family. What do we got to do here, baby, before we clock out and drop out for the night? And I guess I'll say, I know what we got to do first. Shout out to Jason Renfro with that $2 holla. What did he say?
He said, great bobblehead night. Go Cowboys.
I love it. Thank you. Bobblehead night. I love it. We're going to have that at least once a week. I love it. I think I will even, we'll get him more detail. I'll get my other arm back somehow, and maybe you'll get your other arm as well. We'll figure it out, guys. It's great stuff. We appreciate you all chilling with us, dropping the emojis, and if you're in the membership. And guys, remember, you can do the membership even when we're not here. There's also the thanks you can drop as well. You can do the through Cash App whenever we're not here in Venmo. Again, we'll always shout you out when we get back on next time we go live. So again, this is Sunday probably, but stay tuned just in case. Either way, it's a wrap for the night. And baby, before we can officially drop out of here for the night, what do we got to do?
At a drop. The beat.
Oh yeah. Beat has officially been dropped. It's a wrap here in My Cowboys Family. MCF, we're repping it forever. Repping that navy, blue, silver, and star forever, guys. You know the deal. We'll say goodnight here from the MCF lounge, the bar. We chilled, we chatted, we talked, we discussed, and we're going to do more of that Sunday night no matter what. You know the deal here in My Cowboys Family. It's always about that star over everything, that navy blue, that silver, that star. And, of course, here, another one in the book. We talked about CD and Dax, the veterans, right? We talked about the rookies, too. Deuce, Eric Stokes as well over there in the 6th rounders, right in the middle. And, of course, number 1 pick, MAZI Smith. Did we miss with him? Well, we talked about it. What do you guys think? We talked about McClay's input. I trust in McClay. I trust in Dan Quinn more to get these guys molded up right. So I'm good with this. Thank you all for rocking with us once again, right here on the 3 letters that represents that navy, blue, silver, and star, MCF. But it's always about that star over everything. Once again, guys, thank you. Take care. Stay safe. We appreciate everybody here rocking with us on the Nightly on a Fan Friday. We'll see you back on the finale on Sunday, guys. Take care. Have a good night. And, of course, never, ever forget the number one thing right here on My Cowboys Family. Stay safe, everyone. Peace. Have a good night. And as always, go Cowboys!
Monk on the beat.